Hello. So this is my review of this week, specifically about how do I learn. And I really just wanted to quickly go over Elder Bednar's chapter 2, where he talks about knowledge, understanding, and intelligence. And to be honest, for the longest time, I thought that these three words were essentially one word, but that they were used as synonyms. But when he went into further depth and explanation about them, I realized that they're not synonymous with each other, and that each is its own process, and that they all build off one another. That you can't just have knowledge and expect to be intelligent. That you have to have a knowledge and then go into getting an understanding of the things that you've learned. And then based on that understanding, applying it into your life. And so getting that intelligence. And it's not just a one-time thing, it's a lifelong process, and we're going to have to keep going through these three steps over and over and over again. I just felt like Elder Bednar's insights helped me to think more about my questions this week. And my questions were, how do I help my students progress from knowledge and understanding to intelligence? How can I instill a love for learning in my students? And what are some ways I can incorporate spiritual knowledge into my teaching of temporal knowledge? And so from these questions, I decided to focus on question 2, how do I instill love for learning in my students? And I got the suggestion of trying out different techniques, whether that is in the form of object lessons, projects that my students can do, or it's showing a video, or just having some sort of out-of-the-box creative lesson plan that will really get their attention, not just doing the traditional textbook and worksheet method. And I think another important point to focus on is finding those things that my students are passionate about. Playing to their strengths and helping them to learn those things that they want to learn. And I think going off of that, avoiding a rote presentation. And I really learned that on my mission, to not have a script. Yes, to have guidance, but to not have a script. To not just go over the same things and go through the motions all the time. But to really show that I myself have a passion for learning that I can give to my students. And so through that, I want to create memorable experiences for them. I don't want them to feel that they have to come to class. I want them to have a desire to come to class. And so I'm going to try to go beyond definitions or facts. And I felt like with Classmate Connections, Bailey, she suggested creating a fun environment and having a positive attitude. She also mentioned the importance of welcoming questions. And I think that that's very important. And I feel like it connects to what Natalie and I talked about in our deeper conversation this week, where we discussed the difference between those teachers that are all about structure and those who are relaxed. And I just think it's important to find that balance. And I know that I discussed this last time, but I think that will definitely be a theme throughout the semester. That it's important to be flexible, but also to not be set in our ways. And then some of the concluding thoughts I had is that there isn't one way to learn, and that my approach to teaching will matter, and that welcoming deeper thoughts and questions is extremely important, not just sticking to, okay, here's the lesson plan. No, we can't, discuss those questions that you have or those thoughts, but really inviting that additional learning. And then showing that intent to learn from each other. And as I mentioned before, going outside the box. And then all the while remembering the differences between knowledge, understanding, and intelligence. And that's what I got out of this week.